Understanding that Big Sky is within the greater Yellowstone ecosystem, which is literally one of the most brittle ecosystems in the world, and making sure that because we're all there to work and play in the outdoors, and we love it because of that, that we're really able to respect it and honor it and steward the land in a way that future generations can experience it similarly to how we have. My name is Lizzie Peyton. I am the Director of Community Sustainability at Big Sky Sustainability Network Organization. Big Sky SNO is the sustainability coordinator for the community of Big Sky. When you put food into the trash, it's going to go to Logan landfill, and then it gets compacted. And when it gets compacted, there's no oxygen for things like food to break down. So what happens is they break down in an anaerobic space where they start producing methane. And that methane is a really bad greenhouse gas emission. It's actually worse than carbon dioxide, even though we make everything carbon dioxide equivalent.
There's also leachate concerns when it's buried, and a lot of that is coming from the food waste. You know, it's 90% water when it's going in there, so it gets smushed around. Eventually it's draining out. And if it's not contained, that could be polluting the waterways.
If you put it into the compost, it's in an aerobic or oxygen-filled area. So you're creating healthy soil that's going to be put back into the earth.
My name is Karl Johnson. I'm the owner of YES Compost. So we do a lot on the front end to educate our users to make sure they know what is and isn't compostable. That's definitely the most efficient way to deal with it, because once it does get into a compost bin, it's going to potentially end up in one of our piles, and then we'll have to pick it out by hand later. We are a commercial composting facility, which means that we can accept any vegetable, fruit, make sure to remove any stickers or packaging, but also meats, bones, dairy products, cooked leftovers, eggshells, oyster shells, grains, beans, certified compostable products such as cutlery, plates, napkins, clear plastic cups. The compostable version will have a number 7 with the letters PLA underneath it. Food soiled paper products. One example is the bottom of a pizza box that has a bunch of pizza grease, napkins that are unbleached. All of that can go into the compost bin. So a couple things to make sure to keep out of the compost, unless it's specifically labeled as compostable, are food packaging like rubber bands, twist ties, rubber gloves, silverware, fruit stickers, thin film plastic, little strips of tape that say organic on them, dryer lint as well. All of our clothing these days contains plastics. The microplastics end up in that lint. And therefore it's a contaminant. So those little things are, not so hard to remove initially if you remember. They're very difficult to remove later on in the process. Ornamental flowers or even flower trimmings from the garden, we don't allow those into the bins or buckets, but they can be put out separately in a paper bag or something like that, and we'll compost those in our yard waste pile. Oftentimes ornamental flowers are sprayed with pesticides or things to make sure that the blooms and the pretty parts aren't damaged. So we want to make sure that those chemicals are not introduced into our compost. Dog waste is one thing that people like to think is compostable. However, it definitely is not in our process.
So our steward program allows people to be part of a financially supportive system. As a steward, you get resources. You get your first month of compost with YES Compost free. You also get access to a lot of tips and tricks you can do in your household to really diminish your carbon footprint. If a business wants to be an annual steward of Big Sky SNO, it's just $100. It's very little for a business, but what we're trying to do is get collective buy-in from everybody in the community and meet them where they are. Big Sky SNO is a really good resource for any of your questions, whether it's consumption and waste or energy reduction or transportation. You can find us at bigskysno.org or email us at bigskysno@gmail.com.
Anyone that wants to sign up and start collecting food waste and composting, they can go to yescompost.com.
And then you're almost always going to see us out at farmers markets or music or big events that are labeled zero waste efforts. So don't hesitate to come up to us at those moments and ask us. We love being a resource for the community, and the only way we're going to make progress is by doing it together and supporting each other in that effort.